Good afternoon, Meridian. I'm Sean Evans with the Meridian Chamber of Commerce, and welcome to our program this afternoon, COVID-19, Asked and Answered. I'm joined today by Mayor Robert Simison and Jeff Lavey, Police Chief for the Meridian Police Department. We're taking a few minutes today to talk with the Mayor and the Chief Lavey and try to answer some questions we've been hearing. With multiple orders coming from multiple jurisdictions and things constantly changing, we know everything can be a bit confusing. So let us go through everything, some questions from the business community and the public. Sorry about that. Mayor, my first question is for you. Why haven't you implemented a mask mandate in Meridian?
Well, I guess we're just going to get right to it, aren't we, Sean? With that nice hard question. But right now, Meridian does have a mask mandate. I think that sometimes people forget that we are part of Ada County, and we are part of the Central District Health Order here in our community, which requires masks be worn in public places here in our community. It's an important thing, and I've even heard this when I've had conversations with people, businesses, individuals. They ask the question, why don't we have a mask mandate? We get those emails to the office, and we do. So we just need a better job of communicating with the community that there is a mask mandate that is in place. When Central District Health came out with their mask mandate, I supported part of that process because I think it sends the right message to the community. We should all be wearing a mask when we are getting groceries, when we're doing our Christmas shopping, when we're working with one another in public places. But it's also important to remember that mandates by themselves have challenges and don't solve the problems we're facing. People have to choose to wear masks, and people need to choose to be part of the solution. Our healthcare professionals have seen that masks help slow the spread, and we need to adhere their advice. So I want to first just say thank you to those that have been out there in the community who are choosing to wear a mask and doing their part to help slow the spread of COVID here in our community.
Yeah, many of our businesses actually were requiring masks in their operations before Central District Health even put the mask mandate in place. And then Central District Health's mandate kind of superseded all of those orders. So there is a mask mandate in Meridian, if anyone asks.
Yes, there is a mask mandate in Meridian. And honestly, a lot of those businesses wanted a mask mandate. They felt it'd be easier for them to have rationale behind their decisions that they wanted to have safety in their stores.
Yeah, we were hearing that from the businesses. Is Meridian open for business? That's a question that a lot of people have.
Absolutely, Meridian is open for business, and it's up to all of us to keep it that way. I'm pro-business, and to be pro-business, you have to be pro-safety measures right now. To those Meridian businesses, large and small, that are open and operating with protocols in place, I want to say thank you. They are keeping their employees with paychecks, which keeps food on our tables, which keeps people in their homes. They're also providing services to those people in our economy who need it. I think one of the things we've learned through this process to this point in time, we started off using the word essential. We're all essential because even your businesses that are essential in one place, they need the printing shop to get things printed so that they can inform people. Business requires working together if we're going to be able to keep everyone open here in our community. It's been great because I think our business has also gotten very creative this year as they continue to operate. They worked hard to implement the new ways of doing business. And to those patrons that are going out and being pro-business, I want to say thank you for following the safety protocols that are under the orders that the businesses themselves have put in place within their business. Ultimately, it's part of all of us to do our part if we're going to keep businesses moving forward.
Through the chamber, we've definitely heard of some businesses being very creative. Some are having stellar years. We just heard recently of some restaurants that had their best November ever through drive-through and other means of curbside deliveries. So we know our businesses are open and some are strong during this. What perspective have you developed during this pandemic? You came into office just shortly before all of this hit us. What has changed in your views this year?
I don't know it's what's changed, but I think it's some of the things that I've learned is this pandemic is hard on everybody. We need to recognize how it's impacted the lives of our people and the businesses. I've spoken with businesses owners and talked about how they've had to close their doors. They made those decisions, which were tough. This weekend, I had a parent in my neighborhood stop by and knock on my door, and she wanted to talk about how she was seeing the struggle with the kids, with the restrictions that are being placed upon them. So this virus, just like it impacts people differently from a health perspective, not everyone has the same symptoms. Not everyone has to be hospitalized. It impacts us all differently. And I think that is so true in how we respond as a society. It impacts people wildly differently, and we never know how that is really going to come about. Unfortunately, though, people tend to be, one of the things I've also learned is people tend to be on one side or the other. Some people think that there shouldn't be any order in place right now, and others think we should be putting people in jail for not wearing a mask. It makes unity hard when people don't see common ground on how we can combat the COVID pandemic here in our own community. So as public officials, it's up to us to try to help protect the public health and safety of the community, including our chief here, who we'll get to and kind of talk about their role. But we got to go back to the start and understand that what we've been trying to do is help slow the spread of COVID, ultimately. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to minimize the impact to our hospitals while we wait for a vaccine to be developed for those that would like to take it. We got to stay focused on that. And honestly, I'm not a doctor. And me being asked to make medical decisions, it doesn't seem appropriate. But I trust the epidemiologists and the other subject matter experts at the health department and in our hospitals for their efforts to help us protect the community. We need to continue to listen to them to keep our businesses and schools open. And to make that happen, I'm pro safety measures of wearing masks, washing hands, and keeping physically distanced from others when we can. And I hope others will choose the same decision.
Some great advice, Mayor. Chief, what happens if the public has concerns about businesses' safety protocols? Who should they contact?
John, I'm glad you asked that question. First, let me just say, I want to say thanks to the very people that are doing their part to ensure that their employees and our community is safe. I generally believe that most businesses want to do the right thing. And in discussion last week, it became apparent maybe they don't know what they can do or what they should do. And that's probably why we want to have this discussion today. Any of the people that see something that is making them feel uncomfortable, some people have reached out and contacted City Hall, but they should tell the business. And you could tell the manager on site, you can make a phone call, you can send an email, whatever your comfort level is, but you should make it known. Because a lot of times we find that corporations and managers put rules in place, and then you have the workers that are actually supposed to be carrying it out. And maybe the message got misplaced and they're not doing exactly what management wants them to do. And so we can't fix it if we don't know about it. So likewise, they need to contact the business and express their concern. Now if you have someone that actually says, well, I don't care, I'm not going to do that, then you can contact them for this help. Either go to their website, they got a tremendous website with a lot of information, or call them and share your concerns. So traditional health will work with them and try to educate the businesses about why they should comply, why they need to comply. And really, it's a way to shut the business down. And then ultimately, if they can't get resolution, they can contact the police department, and we will actually come and assist.
Okay. In April, the Chamber, along with some other community citizens, started our Keep Meridian Healthy and Open for Business campaign, wanting to try and just educate the public about the steps that they could take to continue to make our community a healthy community, both economically and safety-wise. Our area businesses have been facing these changing guidelines and restrictions for over 8 months now. Many of the business owners ask the same question: how can I protect my business if the public isn't necessarily following these guidelines?
So one of the things that we like to point out is that you have to take some sort of responsibility within your business. You set the rules, you control the business, and if you sit there and say no entrance without masks, which is what the health order says, then that's what that means. But you're going to have to tell them that, hey, the rules in place, we're more than happy to show up and educate that person. And then, of course, if they don't leave, then we'll issue citations or if necessary, make an arrest. We've already done that. Responded to calls. You have to listen to what the business says, and if they don't comply, then we'll come up.
Yeah, I think we've found that a lot of people just don't know from county to county what the standing orders are and things like that. So the education does go a long way.
We talked about it at the very beginning. There's been a lot of confusion. What does it mean when you have governor order, voices order, the health district order? What does it mean with the Southwest District Health Order? It does get confusing. And we've had a few people that reached out to us and say, what does this all mean? And we realized that if some people have that question, then maybe a lot of people have that question, and that's the purpose of what we have here today.
Okay. Mayor, where are we now with community spread in Meridian?
Well, I think we got to make sure we look at this as a region. The information we're hearing from Central District Health is there is still significant community spread that is having an impact on our community hospitals and their ability to staff those hospitals. I think if you look at it, from a practical standpoint, as a city, we need to continue to be respectful of the lawful orders that are out there from our health district, Governor Little, and bring our community along to have faith in those orders. And that means trusting the subject matter experts from the health department in order to, how do we adhere to those orders in the best way? I just want to take a moment and say, the Central District Health, the governor, they all understand the importance of us being in school. They understand the importance of our businesses being open and what that brings to us. Nobody is trying to take any activity to adversely affect those in our community. We just need to slow the spread of COVID here in Meridian, in the Church Valley, in the region, because our hospital system is struggling. Personnel is as big of an issue. It's not, people say, why don't we just build more space for them to put more people? You got to have the personnel there, and they're struggling with personnel issues there within the hospitals as well. So I think I want to thank those in our healthcare industry for everything that they've been doing. They are champions. But let's start with the science points to where we're having troubles. We need to be taking steps to address those areas where there are troubles. If there's areas where we're not seeing that, it's going to be more difficult for us all to support what we should or shouldn't do. Whether that was early on when you would hear about large community gatherings, the weddings, where you would see that. It makes sense. We're seeing more and more about challenges people are having.
We're having audio issues. You guys can just pause for just a second.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
People can't hear the signal. We're getting
We just need to listen. We need to listen to where we have areas. We're going to see what happens after will there be a spike of Thanksgiving with people gathering their homes? I know I've already heard some instances here at the city where we've had people contact COVID from having family members of theirs. So how's that going to impact the rest of our community?
Okay. So Mayor, what's next for the community in Meridian?
Well, as I mentioned, hospitals are at a near capacity and they're facing staffing challenges, but we need to slow the rate of spread as best we can. That's what our goal has always been. So I'm asking everyone, our businesses and residents who have taken steps to slow the spread of COVID to continue those actions. The winter is just hitting upon us. We hear about a vaccine in the future, which people will have to make decisions whether or not they choose to take that vaccine when it becomes available. So continue to do the stuff you been doing for the last 8 months, because I do see light at the end of the tunnel. But at the end of the day, this is about our community. It's about our residents, businesses, and them choosing to do the right thing. We can't mandate people to take these actions. They need to step up and take those actions themselves, because they are listening to the experts, and that's what we need to do. So thank you to everyone who did their part to help us get towards the finish line.
Well, thank you, Mayor Simison and Chief Lavey, for joining us today. Mr. Mayor, give you the last words to say thank you to our people that have joined us.
Well, yeah, I want to thank you, those that are online, and I want to thank you, Sean, and the Chamber for helping us have a way to connect to our businesses. We want our business community to, we are here to support them in their decisions about how their business should operate during COVID. We're also doing what we can to make sure that the businesses stay open. But it's going to take us all working together to help make that happen. And I know that the chief is here to support, and the men and women of the Meridian Police Department will be there to help support any orders and the people that are there that are they're in violation of the rule and interest of businesses.
Well, thank you very much. And